Hey guys, I welcome you all to my channel. So in this video we will talk about landscapes. As you can see on your screen, it's a landscape. This particular site that you can see is visible from Mount Snowdon in Wales in United Kingdom, and this region is called Snowdonia. It is also part of Snowdonia National Park. And if we try to define landscape, then landscape is a part of earth's surface that can be viewed at one time from one place, like it is visible from Mount Snowdon, and it consists of the geographic features that mark or are characteristics of a particular area. Now different geographic features such as mountain, rivers, plateaus, coastal areas, deserts. So these are the different geographic features, and a landscape is consist of that, and it marks those features. Okay, so I hope you understand what is a landscape. If we go to the uh, this terminology, this word has come from Dutch. This is a Dutch word, and it was used for countryside paintings. Okay, like here we have a painting. So a countryside painting was called landscape. If we see, then these paintings existed in ancient Roman period. We have this record, like we have this ancient ruins of Pompeii, a city in Italy. And here we have different fresco paintings, like we have in our Ajanta caves also, different fresco paintings that are the particular style of painting on wall, that we have large paintings drawn on walls and ceilings. So frescoes are different from murals, and frescoes are when the plaster of the wall is wet, the frescoes are like drawn at that time, so they remain for a longer period, while the murals are drawn on the dry walls, and they use different eggs and oil to you know to stick those paintings, so they don't last longer, and the frescoes last longer. Well, here we want to say that I wanted to tell you that landscape came from the Dutch word, and ancient Roman period we had different landscape paintings drawn by different artists. Even we have this saying that an artist paint a landscape and geographer studies it, because there were different geographers. They have defined geography as the science of landscape. Okay, so that's why landscape are very significant in studies of geography. If we see natural landscape, what a natural landscape is, it's made of a collection of landforms such as I already said, mountains, hills, plains, plateaus, lakes, streams, soil, natural vegetation. So all the natural features, all the geographically natural geography features are landscape. So a landscape is made up of all these features. If we see desert, now deserts are unique in themselves. If we see Sahara Desert, you will find different sand dunes. If we go to American Southwest Mojave Desert, then there you will find cactus dotted landscape. And here we have Atacama Desert in Chile, a chili shaped country in South America, where we have this Atacama Desert, and you will find different jogged jogged surface you will find. So these are the results of different erosions and different geographic activities. So every desert is different in themselves, and that's why natural landscape is unique to the landform, the physical features of that place. And natural landscape is something that is collection of natural geographic features of a place. If we could talk about cultural landscape, then these are modified by people. Okay, so people have created them. People, like, they grow plants, they care for animals, and they build some structures that would be cultural landscape. Like here we have in Argentina, here we have the cattle ranch in Argentina, these vast cattle ranch. And other type is this Japan, Tokyo, we have urban landscape. So both are different. Some has some, this one had some cultural some geographical properties, like we have this mountain and vegetation that are grown for the cattle. Okay, so this grass is grown for cattle. Okay, so this is some different kind of cultural landscape, and this is for urban geography, the human geography. If we see, then here we have a different kind of landscape. So both are cultural landscape that are grown with the people. they have modified them, they have grown plants, they have grown animals, they have built structures. So these are cultural landscape. If we talk about UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, it has listed 114 properties as cultural landscape. From India, we have rock shelters of Bhimbetka that are listed as cultural landscape from India. Here you can see a unique interaction between man and nature, man and environment from history. You can see, so these were the hunters who have painted the different paintings are painted on the cave in the walls of caves, and they represent the people, the nearby villages, their lifestyle that is drawn on these pictures in these paintings, the fresco paintings. So these are different kind of cultural landscapes. 114 such properties are listed as cultural landscapes by UNESCO. If we talk about different type of cultural landscapes that are defined by UNESCO, first we have is clearly defined landscapes. So these are the landscapes that are designed and created intentionally by man. Like here we have in Caribbean, this archaeological landscape of first coffee plantation in Cuba near Santiago. So these are in Caribbean islands. You will find this archaeological landscape. So these were constructed during 18th and 19th century for coffee plantation. So they were like these are the cultural landscape. These are designed and created intentionally by man. Okay, so coffee plantation is grown. So these are created. Next type we have organically evolved. Okay, so these are evolved spiritual, economical, cultural activities happened, and with the physical characteristics, these landscapes evolved. Like here we have Orkhon Valley cultural landscape. Here we can see different horses. So they were used in historical times by different nomads as pastures for the horses. Okay, for their horses, they used to use these grounds for feeding them. Okay, by nomad people, they are still used. Now these landscape, organically evolved landscapes, are of two types, relict and continuing. Like these are still used by some, and relict are they are not used anymore by people. So these are landscapes that are evolved by different spiritual, economical and cultural activities by people. Okay, so where we have different historical significance or historical use of man of these landscapes evident. Okay, so that is organically evolved landscape. Last type we have is associative cultural landscapes. These are like organically evolved landscape, only the difference is that we have no historical human use of the site. Okay, that is evident that these sites were used by human in history or historical periods. Like here we have Tongariri National Park in New Zealand. So it's an associative cultural landscape where it is significant for Maori people, their spiritual things, their economic and cultural features. Like we have Kanchenjunga National Park where Lepcha people worship the mountains, worship the Kanchenjunga, worships the rivers, worship the lakes. Okay, so that's the spiritual significance they hold for the local people, for the people, Maori people here in case of this Tongariro National Park. But they are different from organically evolved landscapes in the thing that there's no historical records of their use. So I hope you understand what are the landscapes and how can we define them. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss some natural features and physiographic features of India, where we will study different natural landscapes of India. I hope you enjoyed. Keep watching our videos, keep supporting us. Have a great day.